the merchants and the bankers too, who must get up and learn those rules. Weatherman and crazy chief, one says sun and one says sleep. Now the AM, the FM, the PM too, turning out that boogaloo. It gets you up and it gets you out, but how long can you keep it up? I said, give me Honda, give me Sony. It's so cheap and it's so phony. Hong Kong dollar, Indian cents, English pounds and the Benjamins. I said, New York! Don't stop and give it all you got. Say New York! Come on and get up. Don't stop and give it all you got. Say New York! Come on and get up. Don't stop and give it all you got. Say New York! Get up. You just don't stop and give it all you got. We'll rise to better my station. Take my baby to sophistication. See the ads? Well, isn't it nice? Better work hard cause I know the price. Now never mind that. It's time for the bus. And you'll get on cause you're one of us. The clocks go slow in the place of work. The minutes drag and the hours jerk.
About 10 seconds.
Live from the Dog the Cat Studios on the Lower East Side, it's On the Horn with Andrew Einhorn.
Hey, everybody, how did you like that? Oh, man. That was Milani Jade. She is my co-host for today. And welcome to the show. This is show number 28. As I adjust my microphone a little bit like a true professional. How you feeling? I feel good. I got all my work done. I got all these videos. We have such a good show for you today. I have a lot of videos. I got an amazing guest. I have a lovely co-host, which I'm going to say too. We're working out the kinks, trying to get Dominic in. But until then, we'll chat. I'm going to pop up. Watch this. Milani Jade. So tell me, where did you come from? Where were you 2 hours ago?
2 hours ago, I was in Baltimore City. Made my way down, up, 3.5 hours.
Is that Baltimore City? In fact, that's Baltimore?
Yes.
You call it Baltimore City?
Baltimore City.
Wow, that's nice. All right, I'm back. Still waiting to see if we can get Dominic in. Tell me something else about yourself. Where did you come from? Why are you here? How did we meet? Just give me something.
Well, to start, I grew up all over Maryland. I mean, you name it. I grew up in Anne Arundel County, Baltimore, Eastern Shore, all over Maryland. But I recently moved here to New York City, maybe about a year ago, and I've been loving it ever since. Got to meet you a couple days ago, and I think it's going great so far. So far, so good. What do you think?
What was your first impressions of Andrew Einhorn, the one, the only?
Outgoing, positive thinking, touch of genius. Yeah. I know you're loving that.
Yeah. Wow. Very nice. All right. Let's see. That was great. Without further ado, sometimes I know my people know I talk about what's going on in the society. You don't need to hear this. By the way, we are social distance. We had masks on up until 5 minutes ago. I've got open windows and I've got a fan blowing that way. So, let's hope for the best because we've all been very careful. So, without further ado, there you is. Hey.
Hello.
Hey,
I'm
your
here.
audio sounds great. Hi, Dominic.
Good. The audio sounds good, you said.
Yeah, it's good.
All right.
So where do we find you, young fellow?
In my studio in
Okay.
Philadelphia, in Fishtown.
Uh-huh.
How are you?
Couldn't be better. Couldn't be
I
better.
don't get to speak to you that often. I mean, we spoke the other day, but you and I don't even get to speak together that often.
It's true. We lead separate lives, you know? You got the wife, the kids, the dog, the cat. You're in
Yeah.
Philadelphia. I'm in New York as a loner. Well, listen, I love coming down to your church. I am happy to come down anytime, especially when this fucking disease goes away.
I feel you.
So for those of you who don't know, Dominic is among many things. We've had a long relationship in the fact that we both started out in Philadelphia in our careers about the same time. Now Dominic is the king of Philadelphia. I elected to go to New York and try to do comedy and film and just stand up and sketch and film and video and, just, I don't know. But are you happy that you stayed in Philadelphia? Was there any dilemma like, do you go to New York or LA, or do you stay in Philly?
Yeah, no, there was a time when I was definitely planning on moving to LA. I was looking at places out there, and that's when I found the church. And in that time, I was like, do I go out to LA and and buy some teeny tiny little house, or I could buy this church and create a whole life here in Philadelphia. And then there was always the thought of moving to New York. But then I feel like, the more established I got here, the harder it was, or the bigger step backwards it was to go to New York. And then that gap kept getting bigger and bigger, and I ended up here.
I felt like that. I felt like at 30, like either I go now or I'm never going to do it. I mean, I was working at the Philadelphia Inquirer doing well. They said, do you want to be full-time staff? And I was like, oh, fuck, I know I could do it, but no. Everybody says you got that thing, dude. You got to go. You got to go. Plus, I don't know. I knew eventually I'd sort of diversify from photography. I was always interested in being in front of the camera as well as behind. So. And here we are in the time of COVID. So I'm going to go back to my host and let her tell us what's on the agenda today. We'll see if we got an action-packed show, so I'm going to try to keep it under an hour, but, we'll see. Let's see. Well, that's cool. I can put you and Dominic on at the same time. Okay, by the way, you are next to this handsome man who you can't even see, but I've been showing her your work for the last hour, so just letting you know. So what's on the agenda, kid?
We have Andrew's interviews in Washington Square, Dominic's food photos, club photos from Philly in the early 90s, Dominic's food videos, and a game of fill in the blank, maybe if we have time. And we've got Naked Twister. I'm just kidding. I'm just joking.
Nice. All right, let me see if I can figure this thing out. So what I like to do... All right, hold on. I got to get... I forgot. Just punch up my camera. It's a little bit of experiment. I'm adding another person, It might be a little slow to come, but all I know is it looks good. He looks good, and I look good. I decided to go with I'm actually wearing... I'm going double purple tonight. Sometimes when I go purple, I just go double. So, and I'm still rocking Dad's, whatever you call that. Got the blue jeans jacket. Hey, are you going to get a guest appearance from either your wife, your young French bulldog, or your cat this evening?
I'm probably not my wife. The bulldog is asleep behind me on a beanbag chair, so we could bother him if you really want to see him.
He has to come out. He has to come out. So let me just say to our audience that both, and you heard me, both Dominic and I lived in churches in the same basic neighborhood. He might be on the outskirts of Fishtown, but I was in the heart of it. So I just thought...
I'm in the heart of it.
Are you?
Yeah.
All right.
So were you.
Like edging on North Philly somehow. When you get over that, I don't know. Oh, that's good, because Fishtown is now the shit. All right. So without further ado, I'm going to go to my first video, which is me in the park. I went to Washington Square, and I asked people, would they live in a church if they could? So here we go. Voila. On the horn in the park. This is Washington Square Park. The last day of January and the beginning of the blizzard. I've just spent the last 2 hours doing interviews. It is about 15 degrees. I am absolutely frozen. There's nothing between me and my socks. But I kicked some ass, got some amazing interviews, gave a few interviews to other people. Let's call it a day. I don't know when I'll be back. Would you ever live in a church?
Of course I would.
Yeah, I don't see why not.
I would. Probably, yeah. It'd be nice.
In the church? If it was the end of the world.
I'm not a religious person, but yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Only if it was abandoned and no one had been in there for a long time.
No, I've not. No. Have you?
Yeah.
Well, it depends. Do you mean an apartment in an old church, or do you mean literally living, like sleeping in a pew?
Would you ever live in a church?
No.
A converted church, yes.
No. What the
100%.
Oh, yeah, a converted church. A converted church. Converted church, yes.
No, a converted church.
Not a Catholic church.
Converted to Judaism, that is.
Yeah, no, I think
I just made that up.
It's like a house.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fun.
Stained glass windows are fucking sexy, dude.
I would love the stained glass for sure.
Uh-huh.
But I don't know. It would depend on like how churchy it was. Like if you could tell where the pulpit used to be, etc.
Depends on how much space I got in the apartment.
Unless I'm a PK, and then it's okay.
What's a PK?
A preacher's kid.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
Would I ever live in a church? I started the trend to live in the churches, and I was in Fishtown with you. Frankfurt and Montgomery is a small church, but it was cool, and I had 2 apartments. It was one of the best experiences of my life. I used to do tap dancing, photo shoots, and hockey inside.
That's nuts. That's awesome.
You know, what I normally do is I stick the camera to someone. I go, I want you to interview me. People who don't even know me. And they're always like, yeah, I'd love to. And then they watch me do my thing. And I forgot. So today I had another friend, which is why, in case you noticed, there was snow on the ground where there wasn't before. So I don't know. What do you do in your church that people are like, I mean, you have a huge, how many square feet do you have?
So the whole building is about 15,000 square feet, but I occupy, my family occupies about 10,000 square feet. So we have a lot of space, like a ridiculous amount of space. And it's really only a couple rooms. I mean, it's 2 stories, you know, so it's a lot of space and a lot of big rooms. Needless to say, we didn't get on each other's nerves in the lockdown because we didn't even see each other for full days.
Any hockey playing, roller skating, yoga? I mean, what do you do in that space?
Yeah, we do yoga. I mean, we haven't done it in a while, but we did what we call broga. It was just all guy yoga. Okay. And we did that here for years, almost 5 years. What else do we do here? There's been roller skating in here. There's been skateboarding in here. There's been all kinds of stuff in here like that.
Nice. I'm going to ask my co-host. You're up. I punched you up. Would you ever live in a church is our question.
I mean, we're talking pews and everything.
It's very open. You could take out the pews. You could, I don't know. You could do whatever you want.
In that case, I would say yes. I would feel protected by the Holy Spirit.
Are you a religious person, per se?
More so spiritual.
All right. I've heard that before. What does that mean? What does that mean, spiritual? Give me something.
I feel like when you say spiritual, it is less confining. I feel like, you know, religion is more of, okay, I'm this, you know, Protestant, I'm Catholic, bam, bam, bam.
Right.
Whereas spiritual, you believe in a higher power.
Okay.
Instead of maybe the higher power, something, you know.
But are you a good person? Do you recycle? You open doors for people? You're honest? Are you all those good things? That makes a good human being.
Does that make you spiritual?
Yeah, does that make you spiritual?
To open doors for people and be kind?
To me, that's because I hear that question all the time. People always say, and I didn't mean to put you on the spot, people always say, well, I'm not really religious, I'm spiritual, and then I press them on that, and you kind of get like, well, I'm nice, and I believe in myself, and like, well, what else are you going to believe in? And I think I just base people on how virtuous they are, how good to society. Do you recycle? Do you open doors? Do you do favors for people? Are you nice? I don't know, that kind of stuff. Anyway.
That's all that really matters, right? That's religion.
Yeah.
I mean, religion's sort of the worst thing that ever happened to God.
Okay. So I'm looking at my list. I have a bunch of videos to do. I think it would be nice. We're going to show your work, which is amazing, and talk about, by the way, we can do it right off the book. This is Dominic's book, Meet America, which I got to say, I shuffled through before, but the last day or two, I just was going page by page, and I didn't realize how, you know, smart and interesting it was. It made me think, what am I taking away? It was like at times it felt sarcastic, but it was also honest, and I feel like you left the reader open to interpret it. Tell me about, we might as well talk about it. Tell me about the book while it's here in my hands.
Well, it's the story of the American spirit told through meat. You know,
Keep going.
It's thought-provoking and artery-closing. What else could I say about it? You know, it's states and it's figure, like, you know, historical figures. That's Michael Jackson.
Louisiana.
And then we did a lot of quotes in there by other, like, famous Americans and very kind of American-type quotes and stats.
Yeah, a lot. Every
like
page has type accompanying it. That must have been such an ordeal to like, did you start with the quote, oh, Martin Luther King said, free at last, let's make a Martin Luther King. Which came first, the chicken or the egg? Did the quote or the thought or the person or the slice of meat?
So we laid out the book and then decided we needed to find some quotes and stuff. And so at first it was all meat quotes. And boy, did that get really weird really quick. So then we kind of abandoned that and it was just great quotes. And, it's nice when they relate to the image or to food or meat or something like that. Right. But when it was really just famous people saying quotes about meat, it was weird as could be.
Yeah. But that's good. Weird sounds nice.
It's weird. It's weird anyway. It didn't lose any weirdness, that's for sure.
It is a good book and it is unique. Where should one purchase, maybe get a sign? Where should we find this book?
You could get a signed one on my website. You could buy it right on my website, just at episcopo.com. I'm pretty sure you could still buy it on Amazon. It's in some local stores here in Philly. In Manhattan, Fish's Eddie's carried it for a while.
Yeah.
You know that place?
Yeah, of course.
It's around, but my website's, if you want a signed copy, is the best way to get it.
Okay, you should get it. How much? $39, $50, $75,
$32, $32.50, I think.
It is a good coffee. It is well worth $30. I'd pay $38.99 for this purchase book. It's really nice. It's got a nice horizontal shape. We'll go to our co-host and I had you shuffle through the book. Any just quick visceral thoughts about it?
One thing that stood out to me, one of many, the Steve Jobs quote about death and how it is one of life's. What was that quote? It was one of life's. Something like one of life's.
I don't remember the quote off the top of my head. I don't. Most of those quotes I know, but I don't know which one you're referring to.
It was something where he said dying was fine or good or the best thing about life. Was
right,
that it?
exactly.
Wow. How did you cut out meat in a lot of shapes? So one is even with a good meat cleaver, which is our next subject, must have been a lot of pushing, caressing, and manipulating.
It was more that. It was, some of it is cut. There are cuts made. I will admit, but a lot of it is just sculpting, really. It was really just pushing it and squeezing it and getting it into the form that I wanted to. Because if you cut it, then it looked like a piece of meat cut like the shape. But I wanted it to look like you would find it in the deli counter or in the butcher's counter. You know, like that's the fat's in the right place on the end and the bone is in the right place. I didn't want it to be like a cookie cutter.
Right. Wow. All right, nice. All right, I want to keep it moving. We're going to go on to I have a lot of subjects and a lot of videos. I was asking you about your life, and you said you're a collector of things. Tell me what you like to collect.
I collect everything. I collect quite a few things, and we talked about a bunch of them. If I lived in a regular size house, they would probably call me a hoarder. But because I have such a big space and I'm a little organized,
Whoops. Sorry, I just cut you off for a minute. Keep going. Wait. Hold on a second. Okay, continue. Sorry about that.
No, it's all good. Yeah. So all of a sudden the thing said, "You are backstage." So I collect a lot of things. Like I have a lot of meat cleavers. We talked about that. I have probably over 100 antique meat cleavers, and I have a bunch of flags. And I have quite a few albums and a lot of McCoy pottery. But I don't think of myself as being like, I'm not a collector in the sense, like I'm not an expert in any of these like categories. Sure. I just like things and I get kind of obsessed with them. And I'm a flea market guy. So, and I just go through phases every other year or so. There's something else I'm just honed in on and hoarding. I also have a lot of cast iron, like pans and like skillets and griddles
But that all makes sense because you're into food photography, so I would imagine that would be good. And maybe a client comes in and you take them to the back room, as you often do, and you're like, And they're like, "Oh my God, this old griddle! We're making pancakes with blueberries, and this would be." Does that happen where people go and you show them your collection, and they come out and go?
Well, the collection is kind of like a prop loft. I mean, we do use what I buy. I mean, it justifies me going and buying all this kind of stuff all the time.
Right.
That's for sure. So I call where I store a lot of my collections the prop loft, the prop room.
Right.
So
.com. That's a good one.
Yeah. So it just justifies it.
What about, do you have any, I know it's, because when we talked, you said meat cleavers and American flags and albums. Do you have any meat cleavers, something unique you can share with our audience?
Yeah, I pulled a few of them. I like this one.
Oh, fucking A, yeah.
Because it's got like, the company like ad on it, which is kind of neat. This is like a F, what's the brand? F Frank, or no, F Dick is the name of the brand, which is here. And then there's another brand of meat cleaver called Dexter that writes it just like the TV show, but that brand has been around forever. It kind of puts that TV show into perspective. There's another one. Look at the handles, how nice the handles are. Gorgeous. They're just so cool. Yeah. And then I brought this one because when the handles are spindled like this, they're older. They're more like Victorian era. So it's probably more turn of the century. And
they're terrifying. They're terrifying.
Yes, they are. And then this is a hog splitter. Look how big this thing is.
A hog splitter? What?
And then see this thing here on the handle, this little hook?
Yep.
That's because once you're splitting the hog and there's guts and blood and everything everywhere, the whole cleaver will slip out of your hand. So this thing is there to catch your hand, so when you go to slice the second or third time, it doesn't go flying across the room.
Okay.
Crazy, right? I never thought it was weird, and then one day, and everybody that looks at them looks at me like I'm a little crazy, and I get it.
Yeah.
But then one day I started to realize how weird it is that I have so many meat cleavers.
Makes sense to me. You find something cool that you like. I mean, I'm sure more boring people are like, oh, I went around the world and got stickers from campsites that I put on my refrigerator. But cleavers is a good one. Horror film companies in Philadelphia. Oh, you got to see Dom. He's got all the meat cleavers.
Right?
I don't know. Well, tonight, if anybody's out there, you want to make a horror film, you need a meat cleaver. I want 2%,
I have
but
100 to pick from.
And then flags, you said, I've had one that it's like, I think I've had for 30 years. I used to do fashion. Oh, shit, upside down. I don't know if that's sacrilegious. Is that bad? I can't do it. So anyway, it's ripping and tearing, but I don't know. And then I have a lesser one. Actually, anyway.
I brought one that's ripping and tearing, too. Look at this one.
Yeah, show me. So
I got this one. Again, I just get them at flea markets, but this one's really tattered, but it's really old. Like, it's a strip of red, and then it's sewn together, and it's a strip of white, and then all the stars are sewn on like individually. So like some of these really old ones they're just really cool.
It's great. Did you use them as props for models like I used to?
I've used them. They photograph really nice. You know, even in a still life. I see your co-host.
I want to show her because I realized this is such an experiment that I have her there on a microphone and like, oh, she can't hear what you're saying. She can't see my setup. I'm like, I was here like, oh, I'm Howard Stern and she's Robin, but I'm realizing, oh my God, she's like totally in the dark. So come closer so I can show you. So this is what it's like. And then, when I punch you up, there you are, except you're not there. And that's how I'm doing it. And then, so we'll get your audio. We'll get all the shit next time. So sorry about that. All right.
Well, three of us can't be on at the same time?
No, because to have her means she's got to be on a separate computer. And I just have her, a punch away on a control board. So I go back and forth, which is fine. It's easy for me. But yeah, so she'd have to be on a laptop. So, you live and you learn. It's all right. All right. Let me go right to, let me see, flags. Albums, though. We'll talk briefly on this one because, well, let me just show you because it's all about me. But I just went, oh, whoops. I have about 300. I used to go to this place. It's before your time. I'm older, but The Sound of Chestnut 2, or The Sound of Market, but it was on.
Sound of Chestnut, and you're not older than me.
We're really close, aren't we?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, we're
All right.
probably the
I got
same
56 and 3/4. I'm just letting you know.
Oh, you're older than me.
See, I told you.
But not that much. I know The Sound of Chestnut too.
All right. For those of you not in Philly, this is a distinct memory of my childhood. It's running to the Winmore station, getting on a train, going to Center City, which was awesome. The train station had this giant shed. Me and my friend Josh, we'd go get Chinese food from the gallery, which had just opened, and then walk down and we'd play pinball on Chestnut Street, where I got mugged once or twice, and then go to the Sound of Chestnut, and I'd buy all my albums. And I'd come home, my dad would be like, do you really need these? Foreigner 4, Pretenders 2? Isn't it good enough to have Foreigner 1 and Pretenders 1? Do you need ELO? Come on, son. The Stones is where it's at, you little man. Fucking wimp. No. Anyway, I'm just going to pull out. I was like, I have 200, but there's an old Talking Heads. That's called, I pulled out, what else? I pulled out Culture Club, just to mix it up a little bit for the kids, you know. This is old Genesis Nursery Crimes, for those of you who like old Genesis. I go way back. The earliest. Love old Genesis. Now, I have Led Zeppelin 1 to 4, but this is In Through the Outdoor. And what was cool about this is like you wet it and then you rub it and something happens to it. I don't know. This isn't on the album. I just sort of pasted it on the front. I cut it out. But that's a good album. And then what else? I Wish You Were Here, Pink Floyd. Who over 40 doesn't have that one? What about you? What's your album thing?
So my albums are kind of all put away right now, like in storage, but I had access to a few, but not really what I would have wanted to show you. But my record collection is sort of just the history of rock and roll. It starts with Johnny Cash and stuff, and then goes through the 60s and the 70s. And my favorite is sort of punk rock or alternative music. So I have like a very thorough collection of that, but it goes right up through. I'm in the Third Man Record Club, and I get Jack White records every 3 months. So I still get new stuff that's really cool, but it's mostly vintage. And there's certain genres I get stuck in, and I like just like collecting anything else. And sometimes, I'll be into prog rock or psychedelic and so what I pulled is a bunch of sort of garage bands from the 60s and the 70s. These are Shadows of the Night.
Yep.
This is the Buckinghams. And a lot of these bands have like one song that you might know. It wasn't a number one hit, but it was a hit.
Yep.
Or it's so this was a good cover. I mean, this was
okay. I know
Music
Talk
Machine.
Oh, I thought they were like 80s. That's the band, right? Oh,
no, this
something else.
Is the Music Machine is the band.
Okay.
Talk is the song. And what else I have? The Standells. Dirty Water. The Outsiders. So anyway, so that's what I pulled because it was a very specific kind of genre of music and that I had access to. And those are pretty neat, like, because they're not real big hits. They're not like super famous bands, but people that are into music know them.
I love it. I didn't recognize most, but I could just tell you're a greater human by your music. And I'm sure there's one like huge hit, but you go into those albums like, fuck, Dirty Girl is fantastic, or I Skip Home with You, or She's Only 15. You know how it was back in the day. She was only 15. I bet you like Buddy Holly. I bet you like what else do we got? I don't know, but it seems like you like a lot of 60s and 50s, 60s, 70s stuff.
Velvet. I like a lot of 70s, and I like Velvet Underground and that kind of that world.
The other day, I don't know why, I was on the net, on my YouTube, on my TV searching, and I found a live version of Heroin by
Nico.
Velvet Underground, I'm sorry. And it was one of the great, it was like a 12-minute song. And do you know the song Heroin, which slow and fast, and it just built up. I thought it was going to end like 5 times. Will the death of me, because in my spark in my veins, and I'm going to say it, and then it slows down and down, then it comes back up, and it goes back down, and it comes back up. Woo! That's a roller coaster. Holy shit! I was doing heroin at the time, but I don't know. Yeah, I was a nerd then. All right, let's see. We're going to go right into. I asked other people what they shared, so let me see. Share screen. Stop. Share screen. Do you collect anything? You'll see the same people. By the way, there's one guy. It's weird. Washington Square, you think of it as like hippie-ish or weird. Seems to have a large gay contingency, which I actually love because they seem always open to me. They think I'm cute. And they gave me great answers. This one guy was so expressive. And I don't know if it's this clip, but it's the ones after that where he's hilarious. All right, collectors. Here we go. Minute 40. Come on, baby, play, baby. Do you collect anything or a collector of anything?
No, I mean, I used to have stuff.
I don't really have any collections.
Early 1990s Adidas or Adidas sweaters.
Ooh.
I collected a lot of stuff growing up.
Foreign coins.
What do you mean? That's something.
Something.
What kind of favorites? The shekel, the Deutschmark?
I have a ton of shekels.
I collect wine corks.
Oh shit, why did it stop?
Cards. Oh, and a little bit of basketball cards, yeah. I like old sweaters.
Architecture, structural.
I've recently started collecting patches from national parks. I went to 9 of them in 2020. So I got them from those, and then I bought them from the previous ones I had been to like as a kid.
Like nicotine vapes. I think it's about it.
Okay. Anything specific, like different colors or?
No, I think I just like keep them all in my drawer and just stare at them.
Philly bands. It's like Beyblades, Bakugan, like a lot of like games growing up, Pokemon cards.
Do they ever come out?
No, they stay in that jar, baby. They stay and they hide until my mom looks through my nightstand and I throw it out.
Do you like to collect anything?
Yes.
Yes.
I collect
I didn't want to be open about it. I collect jackets.
What kind? Give me something.
Leather, suede. I mean, any sort of like even basic Dickies jackets for like skating. I mean,
So I would say I collect hard drives, and by that I mean like 57 of them. I also collect guilt, because I'm a Jew. But lastly, when I travel, and I get to travel a lot, I wouldn't say I collect a specific thing, but wherever I go, I get like glasses, jewelry, and coasters, and artwork. I sort of collect, but it's just things from around the world that signify the area that I was in. Yeah, it's pretty much true. Anyway,
That made me think of one other thing that I collect. Yeah. It's something I started with my son, but actually I had some before he came around. But so whenever we travel, wherever we go, when we find those machines that you put a penny and 2 quarters in, and then you crank it, and it stretches out the penny and gives you like a little memory of wherever you were.
Oh wow!
So you put a regular penny in, and you put.
Oh shit, I did it again. Sorry. Hold on.
Right.
Hold on. I keep trying to go full screen. What the fuck? Go full screen with Dom. Okay. Yeah, let me see that again.
So it's like they're like vending machines. I know you've seen them before. And you put a regular penny in and 2 quarters and you crank it, and then it prints like that's Johnny Cash printed on the penny. It stretches it out. And so whenever we travel now, we collect those, and I have a ton of them. And I actually have one from the World Trade Center, from the Windows of the World. Isn't that crazy? And I have one with Frank Zappa on it.
Nice. He's
from Maryland, and in the rest stop on 95 in Maryland, they have one of those machines, and they make Frank Zappa ones.
You remember the name of that rest stop? Do you remember the name?
It's either the Maryland House or the Chesapeake House. It's one of those two. I can't remember which one it is.
We're talking about the Maryland House or the Chesapeake House. Did you pass these on your way up today?
On 95.
On 995?
I didn't.
Okay. You probably passed them without even realizing. I don't know.
Maryland House or Chesapeake House? I feel like it has something to do with crabs.
Do you, just curious, anything collect? You're too young. What are you sporting, like 23, kid?
Actually, I have a small vinyl collection.
Do you? Get out.
I do.
What are you collecting?
So my prized possession, my prized vinyl is my favorite. I have Stevie Wonder, My Cherie Amour on vinyl.
Ooh, that's nice. Just that one song, or is it like an album?
The album.
Okay. Let's hear you sing a bar of My Cherie Amour.
Oh gosh.
I'll do it if you don't.
Go ahead. I want to hear you.
No. It's all about you.
My Cherie Amour, pretty as a summer's day. How's that?
That was good. No.
That
Keep
was
going. That was
good.
really good.
My Cherie Amour, distant as the Milky Way. Oh. My Cherie Amour. Don't you ever wonder how... Oh, I messed up the lyrics.
That's all right.
How could you adore? And behind that little smile I bore, how I wish that you were mine.
Oh, nice. That's great. Yeah,
That was
you got a huge
awesome.
applause.
Thank
By
you.
the way, I was hoping to have her monitor chat, Milani, and then I realized that she's not in front of the computer. So I'm going to hide my lovely friend Dee Dee Champagne and Kelsey, of course, and Ronald Woolman. Ronald, you need to meet Dominic one day. I'm sure you guys would hit it off. You got a kind of a similar... Although, Dominic, you're a little less shaggy than I expected. You're very well coiffed these days, especially in time of COVID. Unexpected.
Well, I've been talking about shaving for a few years, and then August in the heat with a mask and a beard just didn't do it. So it was the time.
You look younger, son. You went from 45 to 41.
It's a big gray beard.
Yeah.
Definitely, makes me look like some old Santa Claus kind of guy.
You went from maybe intimidating, bear, pot-smoking guy to intellectual school teacher, if I might say. And hi to Kelsey and Astra, my dear friend Astra. Spencer, who says, nice to meet you. Thank you very much, Spencer. All right, let's see what our next conversation is. So we will get to your work, because that's really the primary thing. Actually, I think I want to do now. Let me... I'm going to my Lightroom catalog. Well, we have two choices. Now, let me go to your photos. Because we have the whole Philly thing, the club photos, which are crazy. So I'm going to go to application window, share. Nice. So I put these at the beginning in a montage. I think there's like 40, so I think we might kind of go sort of fast, but not too fast. But that looks like you right off the bat, and I need to go.
Just you asked for some pictures of me, so I sent you very atypical pictures that I would send out of me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That was on a roof somewhere in Philly.
Keep going. I mean,
This
obviously
is just-
these are still lives. Yeah.
Yeah, just a still life. Just played with melons one day over the summer. Just looking to do stuff. Just making pictures.
Did you say play with melons one day?
Yeah, I guess that's what I said.
Okay,
So
that's from the book. Okay,
Yeah,
looks just
well,
like Abraham
Abraham
Lincoln.
Lincoln.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can go full.
It's a ribeye steak.
Uh-huh. You obviously quaffing delicious cheeseburger.
Painting the cheeseburger. That was for a commercial. That was Italy. I was in Italy in November of 2019, right before COVID entered the country, unknowing. I just went for a few weeks just to study photography. I went with ICP.
Oh, sorry, hold on. Uh-huh.
That was just my Halloween still life we did this year. I'm very inspired by Irving Penn. He's definitely one of my major influences, one of my idols photography-wise.
Medium format or 4x5?
No, that's 35. Well, I call it 35 millimeter, but it's just a single lens reflex.
Wow. Okay.
That's which all of this is. It's all just digital shot with my Canon.
Mm-hmm.
That's from the book as well.
Mm-hmm. For those of you who don't know, love is a big Philly thing. It's a city of brotherly love, and we have a famous sculpture, right? The Love Sculpture.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And this is a Philly. This is my little.
Oh, right.
It's got pretzels and tasty cake.
Tasty cake butterscotch crimpets, yo.
Yeah. This is like definitely a Philly image.
Let me just say, Andrew, age 14, before driving, Charlie's Angels is out. What would I do? I'd walk to the 7-Eleven, get a 7-Up, butterscotch crimpets, and Charlie's Angels cards. You heard me. I hope I have them, because talk about collecting things. Woo! Farrah Fawcett, Cheryl Ladd, Cheryl Teagues. Brrr. Yeah. Anyway, that's not to get diverted. It's nice. Conscious choice to keep the USA Choice and Family Pack labels there?
Yeah, well, I actually put them on there because I didn't find these in the supermarket like this. I kind of built them.
Gotcha. Oh.
And then the newspaper in the corner, I ran to the corner to buy some tasty cakes and pretzels, and I was going to get a newspaper to put in the corner, and that was on the cover of the paper. And I was like, this is just too good.
What's the word before and death?
Love and death.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I don't know. I don't remember what was really on the cover, but
Yeah.
I was like, it's going to say love and death in my photograph.
Now, one could, the book, are you a vegetarian? Do you love meat? Are you a vegetarian? Or are you somewhere in between?
When I made the book, I really loved meat, but
Okay.
I am not a vegetarian, but I do not eat that much red meat at all anymore.
What's not allowed? Is that
I do.
once a month, once every 2 weeks, once a week?
Probably maybe once or twice every 2 weeks, every week, maybe
Okay.
once a week.
Good enough.
You know, I'm not, maybe less than that. Probably less than that. I bet it's less than once a week.
Okay. What do we got here? Beautiful.
This is
delightful.
on its side. This one gets rotated.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I might
Yeah.
have rotated it because I liked it horizontal, and it fills up the space better.
This is just, like a day at the flea market. One day I probably found a box of combs and was like, this is so cool. And
Yeah.
came back and shot them. I mean, that's kind of what I do on the weekends.
Wow. I think I turned this, just looks sideways or something.
Nope,
but-
this is correct.
No?
This
Okay.
goes like that.
Man. Must be fun if someone likes fruit in your house. There's a lot of leftover oranges, apples,
Oh my
grapefruit,
gosh.
papaya.
There is a lot of leftover everything all the time. We have tons of food like that.
You make shakes or things? What do you do with it?
Yeah, well, we distribute it. I mean, we give it to neighbors and friends and crew, and we have a couple of the local like shelters and stuff that we bring stuff to, because we really do. I mean, end up with cases of stuff.
Just asking me, he gives away a lot of the food. He does a lot of food shoots, so there's a lot of leftovers, gives away to shelters and things like that. So it's nice.
So this was the same day as the other melon shot. Those are the same melons.
Okay.
This was a series I worked on a few years ago, just kind of inspired by the Dutch masters.
Oh, the Dutch masters of dead hanging chickens. Is that like Rembrandt or Picasso?
Exactly.
Where did you fly to Italy for the shot, or is this in Fishtown
No,
somewhere?
that's in my studio.
Oh man, it's a hell
That's
of a wall.
a set. Yeah, it's just a wall
Okay.
I made that I've had for
Wow.
20 years. Yeah, that I just keep recycling. More than 20 years, actually. That's for my trip to Italy.
Nice. Now that just reeks of 35 millimeter. You're shooting wide open with your f1.4 35 millimeter lens, focusing right on the cheese. What
Yeah,
kind of cheese
little
do we
more.
got there?
I don't remember what kind of cheese that was, but that was Ramona who was cutting it, and she was awesome. She was our cook for the week.
Oh, I thought it was a he, but okay. Nice. Uh-huh. Watermelon. Is that some of your collection?
Sort of, yeah. They're just old cooking sheets, like baking pans and stuff like that, and they just on a dark slate. I mean, there's no manipulation here as far as.
Wow.
I mean, that's just the colors that everything there is. More Dutch masters. This is a little more of my commercial work. I mean, it's all, I hate saying that though, because it's all the same to me. I don't really kind of put it in a box like this is commercial and this isn't commercial. And I mean, I get what things, have a wider range to people.
Yeah.
And what things feel like they're there to sell something a little bit more. But I still try to bring the same spirit or energy to anything I work on.
One of my friends has had a canoe trip for like 30 years, and at the end, the last night, he always does like a schmear bar cookout, so he calls it, and it's like graham crackers, and he melts Hershey's fudge on a grill, and then puts in a lot of different stuff. Wait, marshmallows, yes. And then his friend has the marshmallows, but they're just dripping where it looks like old Jewish men's balls, and they're just gonna fall down. It's like everyone goes, oh, and then he puts them on the graham cracker before they fall. And then there's a secret ingredient, right, Spence? There's always like a cherry or marmalade, and everyone has to guess the secret ingredient. Anyway, not just to divert, but it does look pretty tempting. Schmear bar for those of you. Yeah, melted chocolate. Oh my God. Sun-dried tomatoes?
Yeah, just dried in the oven, just roasted tomatoes. So this was a series I did a few years ago where I found my grandmother's cookbook, and we started recreating her recipes. And then it became this very autobiographical thing, because then it just started becoming about family stories and my favorite meals and stories that were based around food and meals and stuff. And that's called Nana's Recipes.
Wow. Very nice.
That's from that same series. This was my great-grandfather, my mother's father, my grandfather, who she was very close with. And he was from Italy, and he would eat peaches and drink red wine. And so that's actually his pocket knife in the shot. And those are actually photos of him and my mom. So that's what I mean by it took this turn and started becoming really autobiographical, which started as a recipe kind of venture. But a little side note, my grandmother's recipe book was a catalog, like a calendar giveaway from 1956 from like a auto company or something, where each page was a different day of the year. And each day she just used it as like a notebook to write out her recipes.
Wow.
So that's like a pretty great thing to have.
Who dat?
That me.
It made me think that I could do it. My grandmother was an incredible cook. Yeah, memories every Friday night or Sunday night, my family go, and my aunt would open the door because my grandmother was in the back with her, whatever it is, smock bib. Yes. 4 to 5 burners going at once. There was Kugel, and there was Farfel, and words beginning with F, and there was like brisket, and then just... Oh my God, and the heat, and she was in her element. She was actually a concert pianist, but she loved to cook, and you could see it just gave her such joy. So I have a million old pictures of her that I've been scanning. Maybe I could do some of that. A Kugel and a shot of my grandmother in Atlantic City in 1937. All right.
There you go.
All right, let's see. I'm going to come back. So we both grew up in the city of Philadelphia. Did you grow up in Philadelphia?
I didn't. I grew up in North Jersey, and
What?
I went to college in Philadelphia and never left.
Holy shit. Where in North Jersey? I didn't know that.
In a small town called Verona, which is where the Sopranos live.
Uh-huh.
Like the whole show is kind of based in, their home is in Verona, and the kids go to Verona High School, and that is where I am from.
So is there a soft spot that's pretty close to New York? Are you like torn? Do you care about sports? Do you have your allegiances?
Never. Well, I mean, growing up, I was a Yankees fan. I mean, now I am all Philly teams. I mean, my allegiance would totally be to Philly. This is definitely my home.
Yeah.
But, I'm a Jersey boy. I mean, I'm North Jersey. I mean, you could come on. I mean, I'm about as North Jersey as you get.
Wow. Sounds like a Springsteen song. You have a Springsteen quote. Oh, it made me so happy. In the book, which everybody's going to get from Dominic's website. I don't remember what it was. It was something. You have a Springsteen that made me very happy. It was like, oh, there it was. From Growing Up. No, it was from one of the obscure songs that only you and I would know.
Someday we're going to look back on this and think it all seems funny.
Right. That's Rosalita.
Yeah.
But now you're mad. Your father said, and your papa says he knows I don't have any money. Well, this is your last chance to give your daughter in a fine romance. 'Cause the record company, Rosie, they just gave me a big advance. And my tires were slashed, and the Lord was mercy, and the Lord had mercy. Sorry. And my machine, she's a dud, all stuck in the mud somewhere in the swamps of Jersey. So, hold on, I'm just showing my Springsteen prowess. Oh,
Wow, how about it? You're a big Springsteen fan. I would have never made that connection. The denim jacket should have given you away, but it didn't.
Like old Springsteen, the good stuff. Wild, The Innocent, The E Street Shuffle, Asbury Park, Darkness on the Edge of Time. I mean, I love all of it, but the older stuff. It was just poetry, and I love the bells and the xylophones and the drums and songs like Growing Up and Saint in the City and New York Serenade. Oh, there's so much. Anyway, that's all.
He was a great like bar band back then, right? Like he's a band, like a rock band, but kind of put together like a bar band. Like they would sound good in any bar.
Yeah. Yeah, the Stone Pony out there in Asbury Park, New Jersey. Okay, so we're going to go to Philly. Well, I asked other people. You know what's strange? Philly is fucking 2 hours from New York, but people are like, where? That's a whole... They act as if it's another universe. Oh, Boston they might know. Washington. You know what? Fuck you, New Yorkers. You don't want to... I don't know. Sorry, I am a New Yorker now, but I just find it a little strange that it seems like it's such a remote, unknown place. Okay, stop screen, share screen. I asked people about Philadelphia. Philadelphia, number 3. We're rocking and we're rolling. I want to say hi to, let's see, Benji Levinson and Ed Woolerman. Do you know Ed?
I do know
Woolerman.
Ed.
He says you are the best photographer ever. Actually, you can see on your broadcast, there's a chat on the right. And by the way, if you want to say anything or ask Dominic a question about food, culture, dogs, whatever it is. Okay. What does Ed do? What's his relation?
Ed was the creative director at 6ABC, and I did a lot of work with him. And then he moved to, I am forgetting the name of the college. It's in Jersey, begins with a B. Can't remember the name. But he is at a university in South Jersey right now.
Yeah. That's nice.
Oh, my God. I can't believe I'm blanking on the name of the university. I've been there and everything, but whatever. But Ed's a great, great guy.
Ed, you need any video or editing or interviewing? I'm just saying I'm here. By the way, someone asked about the best. It's a typical Philly question. Where's the best cheesesteak? I don't know. You know, do you get that when you're from Philly? Pat's, Geno's, Jim's?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I personally would say I'm more of a Pat's guy, but I'm also a guy who probably hasn't had a cheesesteak in 5 or 6 years. I just doesn't even ever occur to me to go get a cheesesteak.
What I love is when I go down to Philadelphia with someone, if it's her job or I'm visiting, and it's like we're getting a cheesesteak. And I don't know. Let's ask our co-host, cheesesteaks, milady?
I have actually had Geno's, and I must say it's delicious.
What do you get? They all want to know. Is it like Cheese Whiz, provolone, mozzarella? Do you have a cheese?
I would go with provolone. Maybe Philadelphians will, hunt me down for that, but
not at all. Onions, peppers, sauce?
Onions, peppers, the works.
Oh. All right, we'll get a cheesesteak one day. That's nice. Anything else food-wise, Philadelphia? Do you know? Like, we're known for certain things.
I actually went to that fountain, Founders Fountain.
Okay.
It's like they make their own root beer, and then they make their own root beer float. They make their own ice cream. They make their own root beer from scratch.
Uh-huh.
I wish I could remember the name. It'll come to me.
We're known for our hoagies too. Hoagies, which I think have a different soft pretzels and mustard and cream cheese and violence at sporting events. Okay, let's go to yeah. Speaking of which, do you have any impressions of the city of Philadelphia?
First things I think of are Meek Mill, who's a rapper from there.
Sure. Uh-huh.
Lil Uzi Vert is from there.
Oh my God, I hate Philadelphia, and I am not ashamed to say it.
Keep going.
My ex lives there, so my collection of bad memories starts and ends with Philly.
Bro, that place is fucking confusing. I went there.
I've been once.
And I went there for a Flyers game. Bro, they fucking love the Flyers.
Their basketball team is trash.
That is incorrect.
You bitches love the Flyers. It's amazing.
It's my favorite team ever.
Yeah, I've never seen pride like that in my life. And like, I'm a fucking Yankees fan. Like, I'm a New Yorker, native New Yorker, and I don't even think we're as proud of our team as the way you guys are. So it's fucking commendable.
Oh, Philadelphia, Philadelphia, what are we going to do with you? I mean, a lot of the rumors are true. It's very blue collar. It's kind of segregated. It's edgy. It's tough. It can be dirty. But at the same time, we have amazing restaurants. We have great clubs. And it's got a thing, you know? It's got a little chutzpah. So Philly is Philly. What are you going to do? How you doing, Tony? You just going down the shore on Tuesday over to the ocean? Yeah.
I mean, I remember I liked it. It was really cold, and I was probably about like 12. So, you know, overall, I got a Slurpee. That was good. So I had a good time.
I've never been.
I have never been, so I don't think I can answer that.
Never been. Can't tell.
I went there on like a high school like trip, so we just looked at like the Bell.
I did have a cheesesteak, and that was great.
But bitch, I was mad lost. If you don't got a car, you're fucked over there. At least for me.
I couldn't get enough of the guy. It's just, it was fun. Oh, let's go back. Oh, what do we got? You having fun so far?
Yeah, me? Oh, I thought you were talking to the audience.
No, well, no, but I got a lot of nice. Benji says he's digging the show, of course. Sorry, Madame, we.
I remember the place. It's called, Dom, have you ever been to Franklin Fountain?
Yeah. Yeah, Franklin
yes.
Fountain's great.
He loves
Great
it.
little spot. It's
Best
like a
beer floats I've ever had.
it's a vintage ice cream parlor. It looks like it's like turn of the century or something. The way they dress, the whole interior, they take it really to a degree. Right?
I'm whispering it in here, telling her what you says because because I'm not yeah.
She can't hear me.
That's nice. Yeah. It's all right. She feels you spiritually. Well, that's great. Let's see. We went through so many of our topics. Your work, Philadelphia as a city. Oh, so we'll go back a little bit. Oh, you know what? Fucking A. You, when we were talking about stuff, I asked about your life, and you said, well, we have a French bulldog and an old cat, and they're really not getting along so well right now. Is that correct?
No, yeah, we just keep them separated. I mean, we have an old cat that doesn't like anybody, including us. I mean, my wife is the only other living creature on the planet that the cat will go near, and tortures my wife, like loves my wife, but nobody else in the world does the cat want to be around. And we have a hyper little French bulldog that wants to play and attack, and you know, it freaks the cat out. So yeah, life's interesting, but we have a big place, so you could keep them separate.
Yeah, I just love that story. I mean, so many New Yorkers have dogs, and we all can relate to cats, and we all can relate to dogs. So I thought that would be such a good question. So look, you can see, do you think an old cat and a young French bulldog can be friends? So let's see what people have to say. Do you think an old cat and a young French bulldog can be friends?
Of course. I mean, they speak the same language.
For sure, yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I would love to see it.
It'd be adorable, yeah.
Yeah, I think they can. I'm not sure dogs and cats have actually, I don't know.
I've never had a cat and a dog at the same time, Dominic, but I get the feeling that after a while, something will just click in. It's like the cat will save the dog will save the cat, it'll ward off, some sort of intruder, and they'll slowly settle into a nice bond.
I think with time, they'll get along.
How much time?
Oh,
2 weeks.
Oh no, I think they're probably a bunch of bitches, to be honest.
No, literally.
Yeah. 2 bitches in a house, just going at it.
I have an old cat. He's estimated to be about 10, and this summer I took him home to live with my parents' dog, who is 1. And she loved him, and she's huge. She's like 45 pounds and all leg. And she loved him and just wanted to be his friend and would lick his head. And he didn't like it, but he put up with it and was very kind to her.
But can they get along?
Can they get along? Mama girl, I don't think so.
Mama girl. I don't know why I was a mama girl, but I was just funny. So there's hope for you. Yeah.
But I used to have an English bulldog, and that's when we got the cat. And the cat was already, I'm going to say mature, probably 6 years old by the time when we got the cat. And I already had Ange, my bulldog, and they got along. It took about 2 years, but the cat warmed up to Ange. But Ange was pretty lethargic. I mean, she did nothing but lay around, so the cat would just lay around on top of her.
Right.
So maybe that will come to some, right now he's a little hyper. He's a puppy.
And yet he's sleeping. Do we get a cameo?
I'll get him. Hold on.
Yeah! I'm going to get a cameo. If you're just joining the show, my name is Andrew Einhorn. This is On the Horn. And Dominic's French Bulldog is making its way to the camera. Oh! Hiya, Pooch! What's the name?
Rex.
Rex, not bad. Hey, Rex, can you hear me? Oh, no, it's going into your earphones. You're a very good pooch. Oh, God, the French Bulldogs. They're so adorable. They're all over New York City. It's become a very popular dog. Can he see me? Brrr, pooch.
No, you're not on screen right now. But he was
right.
I don't think he's happy I woke him up. He does not look happy to be here.
But if you squeeze him, he probably loves to be loved and massaged. Oh, my God. He's so shiny.
Yeah, he has a nice coat.
Wow. Good for you. Man, that must be a great place for a dog at 10,000 square foot church. Woo! Would I take a ball and fucking throw it? Rex, bang! And it's down the hallway, bouncing off doors. So next up, I don't know. I heard your alarm go off. That's the 10 o'clock hour, but we'll probably.
That was exactly my 10 o'clock. It wasn't for you. It's just an alarm.
Okay.
Right. I'm like.
It's 10 o'clock. Do you know where your children are? They should be at home. I'm going to go back to sharing my screen again to this, but I don't want to go to that. Hold on a second. So you and I'm going to run through these. I see I've got like 45. I'm going to blaze through. But just, this is our like humble beginnings because, and by the way, I am determined to make either a book or an exhibit because I have thousands, maybe not that, 2,000 to 3,000 of like Philly photos because I would go and shoot in the clubs. I mean, it was so exciting for me to be in the old fashion world with our friends Askins and Reinhardt. So this was, I think, a Valentine's Disco Ball. I remember the name of it. It's one of my favorite pictures ever, and I actually hand-colored it. This is where the cops came in. I don't know which club it was, but cops coming in. Should I make it full? Let me see if I can make it bigger, or I can, there. Let's see. Chris, can I make this bigger? I feel like I should be, well, whatever, okay. You know, a lot of bathroom fun back in the day. So,
oh my God.
You know anybody?
Yeah. Yeah. Right in the middle, that's Jackie Grossman.
Oh, I remember the name Jackie. She's so cute. She probably has 3 kids now and lives in Delaware. That was Betsy Johnson was like all the rage in those 2 years that I was shooting in the clubs. I hope you're in here. I'm sure. Oh, wait. Shit. Hold on.
No, there I am. That's not in the club.
No, but I wanted to. I thought I put you up top. Where the fuck?
I see shots of me. That's me with the vest.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I'm going to get to it. I'm just going to blaze through these because there's just so much fun. So, bang. This is FYI. This was like a train ride to New Hope and with, men dressed as women on a train. This is somehow men. Look at the reaction of the people below. One of my favorite shots. By the way, do you remember a guy? I probably asked you, John DeLay. This guy he passed away. I just looked him up. He was such a fun. He had a clothing store called Something Blue, and this was one of his shows at the Troc. I don't know where that is. This is.
Oh my God. That face.
And you recognize the guy with the whistle there in the middle?
Yeah, that's Jared Leto, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And
he went to school with us. We went to University of the Arts, and he was.
No, I didn't know that.
He was there at the time. We knew him back then.
Any impression, like what it was like as a human being?
I don't remember. I remember he was dating one of the girls in one of the groups we hung out with. So he was just around, but he wasn't famous. So he didn't stand out as being anybody any different. He was just another dude, right. But he was a good looking guy. I mean, the ladies loved him. That's for sure.
He looked like Jesus Christ. When I had never seen him before. I was in the Trocadero and I saw his hair was down and those blue eyes. And I was like, holy shit. I photograph a lot of male models and you're better looking than all of them. Let's do a shoot.
Yeah.
And then he said, do you know Chris Beadham? Chris Beadham, he was one of the big male models in Philly. Well, he was like, Jared said, I'm friends with Chris. Done. 3 days later, we were heading out to Plymouth White Marsh to one of my favorite locations and did a shoot.
And I think that's AD Amoroso in the background there, too. I recognize a couple faces in there. You know AD?
No, the name is familiar, but...
Well, he was like the gossip writer, and he was one that wrote about everything that went on in these clubs and stuff in City Paper.
Oh, okay. I think this was a D-Light concert at the Chestnut Cabaret, is what that is. Hope Facebook doesn't kick me off for that one. It's a woman revealing her plastic boobs.
Or her boobs behind plastic.
Yeah, boobs behind plastic. There's Lady Miss Kier from Delight. Woman in the bathroom. Just.
My God.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy.
One of my favorite. That was a Halloween event. I was like, I'm following you into the street as you walk home. Okay. Spider. Yes. Yeah.
Maria. I mean, just her body language in that pose, I would know that was her just from the way she's standing.
Yeah. Oh. Do you know who's asked that? Your friend Kim?
That's one of somebody in Kim's stuff, yeah.
Kim Kelly and Kim Montenegro.
And that's Lisa Askins, isn't it?
Yep. All right, that's you from the side with the woman on the phone.
That's me.
Yeah, but there's going to be better.
That's Maria.
Yep. That's one of my favorite shots ever. That could be the cover. It just, I don't know.
Kim Kelly and Maria, yeah. There you are.
Truly. Yep.
Oh,
age,
so young.
That's me at 23, 3, 4, I would say, somewhere in there.
Michael.
Uh-huh.
Michael Dornick.
I'm going to show my friend. That was me. 23, half a lifetime ago, if not more. So serious, Mr. Dornick. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
And that's you.
Timmy and Luigi and me. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Look. Oh
yeah,
my
little
God.
Springsteen in you. A little the bandana. Look at that.
Oh my God. I was skinny mini there.
Yeah. Yeah. Look like a rock superstar yourself. There's you and Michael. Me, a little self-portrait with my Vivitar 283 flash in the back room. This is like CBGB's type. Well, you don't know CBGB's, but it was like
I know CBGB's.
Yeah, no, not you. I was telling my my trusty assistant. Yeah, it was a great at the truck there. That was for City Paper, stage, people going nuts. I don't know who that was, but I like that. Bathrooms, loved them. Okay, she was, and 5. I thought that was you for a second, but that ain't you.
It was a headwear.
That's in front of a
revival.
Yes.
Right? That's in front of revival.
Okay.
My God.
Cool.
Crazy times.
I know. Boy, it does feel like a long time ago. That was not 19.
That was like 90, 91.
That's it.
90.
Yeah, 90 to 91, 90, 89, maybe a little in there.
Yep.
Wow, we covered so many things. I have Fishtown as last because that's the neighborhood we lived in. I asked people without even knowing what they thought the neighborhood would be like and without saying the word fish, which I thought was a funny question. But let's tell the viewers out there, tell them the evolution of this town. I mean, first it was Northern Liberties. Again, this probably won't mean much to New Yorkers, but to Philadelphia people. But I mean, it's like Fishtown. Both of those neighborhoods are kind of a story of any neighborhood in any urban settings that was kind of scary, sketchy ghetto, and then just, of course, turned into something else.
Yeah, I mean, Northern Liberties happened a lot sooner, maybe 15, 20 years before Fishtown, or maybe that's too long, but Northern Liberties was very different. Northern Liberties was very abandoned. It was just empty buildings and empty factories and stuff. So for that to gentrify, it was much easier. Whereas Fishtown was a neighborhood that, a full neighborhood of people who had been here for generations. So the gentrification here took a little longer. I'm going to be here 17 years later this week.
It's not so long.
Oh, wait. Excuse me?
That's not very long.
17 years?
Yeah. Well, when
I
you're
thought
old
it
as
was.
me, it doesn't seem that long.
You're not that old. I lost you here. I'm trying to find. There we are. Okay. So then, Fishtown has been coming along. So Fishtown actually has a better location than Northern Liberties, even though Northern Liberties is physically closer to Center City and it's the next neighborhood over from Old City. There's like a 3 or 4 block expanse that divides Northern Liberties from Old City, so it never really became part of the city. And what happens here in Fishtown is we have access to 95 and Delaware Avenue and stuff, which anybody that's not in Philly, those are the roads that get you into Center City and stuff really quickly. So our access to the rest of the city because of highways and stuff is greater than even Northern Liberty's, even though we're a neighborhood out from them. So I think that had a lot to do with the gentrifying. And then casinos came, and once casinos, they opened a casino on the waterfront in Fishtown, then all the restaurants started to just pour in, and it's insane what's going on here. We call it Fishland Heights.
Oh, really?
Fishland Heights, yeah. It's like our Brooklyn.
When I lived there as a creative guy, I thought, man, I could make so much. I just felt like it was on the cusp of something big, and the train station went right there. There was a train station 2 blocks from my house, and it was just
that's
falling.
The other thing. Yeah.
It was horrible. I thought, if I have $15 million, I'm going to renovate the train station. I'm going to buy 3 factory buildings right around the corner, because there was tons of them. And then people would be like, oh my God, I can have a $600 apartment 2 stops away from Philly. This is so cool. And then the neighborhood would change. And I guess that's what happened. It just
a couple people figured that out.
Yeah.
And a couple guys in particular did just come in and basically buy up Frankfurt Avenue and Front Street and stuff way back when, you know, you bought it for a song, like really for nothing. And now you would be so blown away how far the development is all the way to Lehigh Avenue.
Wow.
I mean, crazy. I mean, it's going beyond Lehigh now to some degree.
Kensington, Bridesburg, I hear it's like.
Yeah.
Wow. That's great.
It's crazy. That part of it is just insane.
So for people out there, this is Philadelphia talk, but it could be the Bushwick and the East New York and the Bed-Stuy. It's all the same. You start pushing away from the center of a town, and then the buildings can be so cool. You have old factories. You know, I've always been so interested to see how cities can adapt. Like, wow, take that factory, put a roof, put a garden on the roof, or create a farm, and then maybe put a track or a movie theater or a giant exercise thing. Like, how can you take that? Even when I was looking for places to buy a long time ago, I looked at carriage houses, garages, factories. I just love that. There was so many, I don't know, so many different options and the ability to take something old and transform it into something new. This is what Joe Biden needs to do. That Biden, he's old, but he's smart. He needs to turn the fire station into a food bank. Sorry, I don't know. So we're going to go right to Philly without people knowing what they thought of Philadelphia. It's my last video of all the 5 that I made. Let's go. And I finished this one. Here we go. Without using the word fish, what do you think Fishtown would be like as a neighborhood?
I picture like a nice little like town.
Yeah.
You know, you got your local coffee shop, you got the barber shop, a lot of barbershop gossip, a couple local family restaurants.
I imagine them having like a huge burger shop. They all they do is just make smash burgers.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I walk away from my
I would like
laptop.
to assume I'd like to go to a restaurant there and eat some fish.
Fishtown?
Yeah.
Fishtown, Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Oh God, I can't say that. It's too fucking vulgar.
Anything.
Well, baby, I've seen Fishtown back in my day when I thought I was straight. So let's just say that. Some fish. That's so unfunny. Yeah.
It's the same answer I use too.
I feel like they probably got so much shit about being called Fishtown.
Yeah.
They don't sell any fish whatsoever. It's all meat. It's all protein.
Very peaceful, I would say. Just hearing the sounds by the water.
Yeah, it's probably by a bay. There's probably, you know, I see a lot of boats.
Be kind of briny.
It's like by the docks. It's like a little grittier, a little edgier, but it has like a really cool, like artsy, almost younger vibe.
Yuppie. That's what I hear. It's a very yuppie now. No? Not? Okay.
Or Bushwickian, if you will.
Gotcha. Yeah, I watched Queer Eye, and the most recent season is in Philly, and they went to Fishtown, and I think that's where they did the church thing, the LGBT pastor.
Yeah. I know what Fishtown is like because I lived there for 5 years. Man, it was like white trash and artists mix, nothing personal. But now, of course, 10 years, 20, 30 years after I've left, oh, it's the Bushwick of Philadelphia. Of course it is. Why wasn't it like that when I was there? But you know what? It was home, it was dirty, it was edgy, it was kind of weird. As a matter of fact, there's one story. So I'm in my church photographing a model, and all of a sudden I hear, I look out the window, and a car had stopped in the middle of the street, and a guy gets out and he's drinking beer. And I hear from the edge, yo, Joe, what are you doing? He goes, yo, man, my fucking car just got on fire. She goes, oh. And that was it. He's drinking a beer while his car was on fire. That is Fishtown. Fishtown, the town that does not smell like fish. That was great. That was good. Thank you very much. Thanks for holding us. Who knows? Oh, why'd you stop right there? Oh, well. Okay, that was my thing. I just kind of rambled on. Anyway. I have a lot of stories, but that was one. I still remember it. I'm on the church on a summer day, and I heard that screech, and I look out the window, and there's just like a guy leaning up against his car in the middle of Frankfurt Avenue on fire, and he's drinking a beer. And that voice came out, yo, Joe, what are you doing? Yo, man, my fucking car got on fire. Oh!
Oh, my God.
I love that church. It was...
They said a lot of true stuff, though. It is a lot of artists and a lot of yuppies, and
yuppies even.
And Queer Eye did do a whole episode here in a church with a gay pastor.
I did not know that. I thought that was funny when she got the answer. And we're like, churches has been a kind of a theme.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you have your family? Do you have friends, family? Not in COVID time, but in general, it must be such a special experience for people to come over and visit you. I mean, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, we always hosted the holidays, not this year, but we've always hosted, we get both families and every single holiday.
Yep.
Yeah, we have 15 to 20 people on Christmas, Thanksgiving, Easter. So, yeah, it does become the center place for our family.
You have a video, you film every person that's never been inside your home before, and you just get their initial reaction. I'm sure. Oh my God, what? I want to do, when I finally fucking do my show, A Naked Happy Life, where I do all my transformation from fashion, travel, nightlife, photography to kids to naked people, that I want to do it. Your space seems like it would be a good, I can just see it, like 30 people in chairs and a giant screen. So, I don't know, we'll see.
It could work.
So, I want to remind people, because this is such a nice book. We didn't really go, well, actually a lot of the work we showed on the screen, but I don't know, flip through. It's really nice. New Jersey, we got a Patriot, we got Andy Warhol, money. And I feel like they can take it and decide for themselves how the quote and the photo gets together, what it all means. Is there anything else that I haven't brought up that you want to tell the world about? You, your family? Are you married? That's what rumor has it.
I'm married. I have an 11-year-old son and a cat and a dog.
Oh. If you've seen his great work, anybody out there that wants to hire him, I'm sure you can find him. And yeah, they're beautiful pictures.
Thank you.
Yeah. And he's a swell fellow and lives in a big church. Well,
hey, this has been great.
Yeah, thank you so much. Did you remember Turk from the church? Oh, you probably didn't know Turk.
I know that name.
He lived across from me in my church. He was a bouncer at the bank. He seemed to be a person a lot of people knew. I talked to him a few months ago, and I said, you should be a guest. And then he started throwing out names of club owners and all the people that were into the scene in the bank and Revival and the truck and the... I was almost overwhelmed, like, oh my God, the show goes so fast. How can I have 16 people and ask them to... So I don't know, but... Well, I guess... Yeah, let me just see if in chat anybody else said anything that I wanted to... Benji, Astra, Ed. No, I guess that's it. All right. I don't know how many more shows. This is 28. I might go to 30 and just stop, because every time I go out and shoot stuff... Oh, let me go back to my my lovely friend... who I felt like I've ignored. Oh, tell me about your first experience here On the Horn.
I just want to say to Dom, kudos. Those pictures are absolutely amazing. They gave me kind of a medieval Renaissance art feeling. The sun-dried tomatoes, that one, the texture, the colors, the composition. And I wanted to give you another kudos. I've seen some of that work kind of playing on shapes with the mead and how they're shaped into different different states. But the difference between yours and others that I've seen, you actually cut the meat into different shapes, whereas you didn't use Photoshop. So I thought that your work was amazing.
And you said that one of your several things you would aspire to, because it seems like you have a lot of aspirations, is food photography per se.
Yes. So seeing what you did, I mean, that was just out of the box. That was amazing.
Thank you.
Out of the box. How do I make my social media presence better? You're a young kid. TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. How does one do it?
All of it. Like, just advertise, advertise, advertise.
Okay. All right. Rock and roll. We're out. I'm going to punch up your thing. Thank you so much, Dominic. I hope.
Thank you.
Look forward to seeing you back in Philadelphia at
post-COVID.
Vaccine. Yeah. Fucking COVID. All right.
I know.
Yeah. It's all right. It's all good. All right. Peace, love, and happiness.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Sure.
Great things.
Get up. Let's do it for real. Ring, ring, 7 a.m. Move yourself to go again. Cold water in your face. Get up. Let's do it for real. Ring, ring, 7 a.m. Move yourself to go again. Cold water in your face is gonna bring you back to this awful place. Knuckle merchants and the bankers too, who must get up and learn those rules. Riverman and Crazy Chief, one says sun and one says sleep. Now the AM, the FM, the PM too, turning out that boogaloo. It gets you up and it gets you out, but how long can you keep it up? I said, give me Honda, give me Sony. It's so cheap and it's so phony. Hong Kong dollar, Indian cents, English pounds and the Benjamins. I said, New York! Don't stop, you give it all you got. Hey, New York! Come on, get up. Don't stop, you give it all you got. Say, New York! Come on, get up. Don't stop, you give it all you got. Say, New York! Get up. You just don't stop, you give it all you got. I rise to better my station. Take my baby to sophistication. See the ads, well, isn't it nice? Better work hard, cause I know the price. Now, never mind that, it's time for the bus. And you'll get on, cause you're one of us. The clocks go slow in the place of work. The minutes drag and the hours jerk.